After just over a year in development, Fall of the Republic 1.3 is now available. In this video, we'll be covering the biggest changes made in this version with a more detailed, though still not exhaustive, changelog available on the Steam Workshop, on the news section of our Discord, and in the mod's files. If you're already subscribed to the mod on Steam, the mod will automatically update. Updates are not save compatible, so if you would like to continue a pre-existing save from point 2, you can find a backup of prior versions on mod database. The biggest new content in 1.3 are the new story missions available throughout the historic campaigns, including the new Rimward campaign. Every historic conflict has been updated to include several of these missions, bringing together various events from the expanded universe, with sources for them ranging from the Clone Wars cartoons to the old HoloNet feeds and everything in between. These story campaigns also have the ability to progress between them, so if you start in Hunt for Malevolence, once you complete the story elements, you'll be able to progress straight into Rimward and beyond, with certain effects carrying over in ways that wouldn't be available if you were to start from the GC selection menu. For example, a CIS player can finish Hunt for Malevolence with Malevolence still alive, allowing them to bring it into the Rimworld campaign. A list of story events for each faction in each galactic conquest is in the changelog. In all of these campaigns, the standard Order 65 and 66 choice is removed for narrative reasons. However, there are alternate options more suitable for that type of campaign available where appropriate instead. Intervention missions, so the random missions you get throughout the game, have also been retooled from point 2, with some new types available, some brand new reward units which can only be obtained by completing those missions, and some improvements for user friendliness. You'll now be told where your reward units have spawned, for example. The new missions and new rewards should help give you some extra side goals as you play through your galactic conquest, with the wider pool of reward units giving you some extra ways to expand your playstyle options without taking away the core identities of the factions. Sometimes the goal selection is a bit weird in from the ground up, and we do have the very boring accumulate credit mission still, but these will be addressed in future releases. Much like completing story missions can act as an alternate victory condition for the historic campaigns, a new victory condition has been added for progressive maps as well. Once you've captured all Capital and Dreadnought shipyards, you'll be able to declare victory early. For players who want a more focused campaign, this option should be very helpful, but if you want to take every single planet, that's still an option as well. This all comes with more reasons to try different progressive starts. While starting in different years has always given different starting positions on the small, medium, and large progressive maps, those options have been expanded with different planet selections and map layouts in different years as well. So starting the game in 22 BBY will mean an entirely different map from starting in 19 BBY. This means with 3 starting years, 22, 21, and 19 BBY, and 3 different map sizes, there are 9 entirely different progressive maps to try. In the future, 20 BBY map starts will also be added, bringing that up to 12. This gives us more opportunities to have different planets in the mod, many of which have new or updated maps. There's somewhere north of 40 great new land maps to play, with a few of the older or worse maps from prior versions either updated or removed, particularly aimed at dealing with maps where battles felt like a slog because of a series of long corridors. A list of all the new maps and the planets they're on, along with a set of new skirmish maps, can be found in the changelog. Economic and resource systems in the mod have been updated as well. Food and parts have been removed and replaced with a single infrastructure score. At the most basic level, this score is based on how many full or empty slots you have on your planets, so expanding too fast without the infrastructure to support it will cause malices, while if you keep your industrial juggernaut strong, you can get some bonuses. This should be far easier for players to understand than the prior system, with more clear connections to the rest of the game, while still achieving the goal of limiting rushing and rewarding building up. To that end, we've also reduced starting forces and increased starting infrastructure, particularly in space. For all players, this should mean early money can go into customizing your fleet loadouts, rather than spending that on building up defenses and using pre-built fleets that we've given you. And for newer players, or players who prefer to turtle, this should mean fewer resources are floating around for the AI and the player to attack all over the place, which could sometimes feel overwhelming. If you are playing on a higher difficulty level, this should even out pretty quickly, so it really just helps smooth out the early game. It does mean you should think twice before turning on Cruel AI too early, although Cruel AI now comes with the ability to be disabled after you've enabled it, which wasn't possible before. This is part of a new suite of options available from a new build bar tab, accessed by pressing the Advanced Options button where the Cruel AI button used to be. From here you can enable and disable Cruel AI, and you can also set the default skin type for each faction's infantry. So if you want your clones to default to the 501st Legion skin even without Anakin or other 501st commanders present, and then you want to fight primarily Battledroids using the Republic Commando theme skin, you can do that. Both playable factions have had expansions to their government mechanics as well. For the Republic, the existing command staff has gone from 2 Space Commander staff options to 4 further staff options: the Jedi, Special Forces, Ground Generals, and Clone Commanders. You're able to choose 3 Jedi at a time, not including Obi-Wan and Anakin, who are always present, so 5 total at once, with new options like Coyote-Mundi, Luminara Unduli, Ram Koda, and Barriss Offee joining pre-existing heroes. For the Special Forces, Delta Squad has been joined by Omega, as well as other ARC Trooper options and other commando types. The Generals have 6 options, including familiar names like Rom Mok, and the less familiar Salomahal, who has a brand new, much requested Falchion tank. The Clone Commanders have Cody, Rex, and 13 other new options from the movies, animated series, and beyond. For the CIS, there are several new mechanics. First, you have the Sabaoth Pirates, 6 new units including fighter craft, which can be built from the Pirate Refuge structure. That structure is available in your orbital construction slot, so it replaces standard orbital unit construction, much like the ship market for the CSA in Thrawn's Revenge, and the Pirates for Warlord's Inge. Second are the Mandalorians. Mandalore is now on every progressive map, so on top of accessing influence units for both the CIS and Republic, when you have sufficient influence with the CIS, you'll be able to choose either the Death Watch or the Protectors to support, giving you 3 heroes and changing the skins of any Mandalorian units you construct to the appropriate faction. These heroes are Pre Vizsla, complete with the Darksaber, Bo-Katan, and Lorca Gedik for the Death Watch, and then you have Spar, Fen Shaisa, and Tavi Dalla for the Protectors. For even further hero options, the CIS can recruit certain random mercenary heroes similar to the Bounty Hunter system in Thrawn's Revenge. If you're looking to try a different game mode from the standard Galactic Conquest, Skirmish, or the modes we've introduced over the last few releases like the Ground War and Supremacy game modes, Survival mode has made its long-awaited return. Survival is a wave defense mode where you build units to defend against waves of ever stronger enemy fleets. You can access it from the Game Modes and Historical Battles tab on the main menu. Right now, it's just in its most basic form, and we plan to flesh it out further in future releases, particularly focusing on the way that credits and the enemy fleets scale, but it's still a lot of fun to try out. In every game mode, some AI improvements have been made. Some of these are aimed at attempting to improve the AI's fleet compositions and mitigate some of the inbuilt preferences that Empire at War AI has, while others improve tactical and strategic behaviors. For example, stranded fleets will now make more of an attempt to rejoin the rest of their faction. Beyond these already mentioned additions, the changelog has a list of several other units joining the mod for both the CIS and Republic, but there's also the first few units for the next playable faction joining the game, the Hutts. They can be found in a non-playable form on the Rimward campaign map, as well as a few planets they own on the progressive maps, but they're the next major project for the mod. In Point 4, they will become fully playable, with a new set of maps turning the galaxy into a 3-way conflict, while leaving the classic standard Republic vs CIS maps as they are. More on that will be announced soon. On behalf of the entire team, we hope you enjoy 1.3 and that you're looking forward to what the mod has in store for the future. We'll be getting into the beta period for Thrawn's Revenge 3.3 soon, so if you want more information on that, you can check out the Discord linked in the description.